My name is Julie Allball, and I will be your host for Ohio Weddings. We will share leading tips and information from leading wedding experts. And we will share real weddings from Ohio couples. Welcome to Ohio Weddings. I am Julie Allball. Today I'm joined with Caitlin and Will, who have just recently got engaged, and they have an amazing story to tell about a surprise proposal. Now, how did you guys initially meet?
We actually met back when we were 4 years old. We went to preschool together. So we've known each other for quite a long time. We actually have an adorable little Polaroid picture from my 4th birthday, and he's my birthday buddy, handing me all my gifts to open, probably shaking them before I got to open them, I'm sure. So yeah, we've known each other, gosh, most of our lives. We actually went to separate elementary, middle, and high schools, and then reconnected right before our high school graduation through mutual friends.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys have known each other for a long time. Now, we understand that you are a Randy Fenoli fan. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I absolutely love watching Say Yes to the Dress. That was one of my favorite shows before I got engaged, and of course it's obviously one of my favorite shows now. So yes, I love Randy, and the stuff he does for the brides I think is absolutely amazing.
So how did you think of, Randy Fenoli, I guess, was coming to the Columbus Bridal Show.
Right.
And so how did you get this idea to pop the question in front of everyone?
Well, we'd been dating almost 5 years by the time we got engaged, that it wasn't going to be a surprise to a lot of people that, Will and Kate are getting married. So I definitely wanted to make the proposal something to remember and the biggest surprise I could. So a lot of ideas were going through my head of how to do it, where to do it. It was actually her father who gave me the idea of, we're going to the bridal show, let's see what can happen. Got their phone number, gave them a call, just asking, I'd like to propose there. Is that something that can be done? Has it been done before? Do you guys have any ideas to help me out? And they said, yeah, Randy's coming. He's the big draw this year. He's one of the headliners. Let's give him a call, see what he says. They got back to me in a couple days saying Randy was totally on board. He was so excited. He loves to be part of things like that. And, the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, I guess you also got to meet Randy before the show started. What was that like?
Yeah, there was like a little meet and greet brunch for some people before that they got Caitlin and myself tickets to that we're excited to be a part of, and it was just a meet and greet session with Randy and a couple of his fans. It was interesting because I knew what was going to happen, and Randy knew what was going to happen. She obviously didn't know, and none of the other guests knew, so it was Randy shaking hands with a lot of people and having a lot of one-on-one time. But for us, so as not to give anything away, it was just kind of a, hi, I'm Will, hi, I'm Kate, let's take a picture, and then moved on to other people. So I'm sure that Caitlin thought, I kind of wish we got more time with them, but I'm thinking in my head, nice job, Randy, way to play it down for us. So it was great. He had mentioned to the crowd that was there at the brunch that, guys, don't be surprised if I use you guys in my show coming up. If I ask questions of the audience, please be engaged. I love audience participation. And when he said that, it was kind of like a clue to me to, be ready, because during a show, he might call us up on stage and do it there. So then we did it.
So, how long did you hold this secret?
It had been a while, actually, probably a good month and a half. The whole time I was trying to play the reluctant boyfriend. Most guys, married, not married, boyfriends, fiancés, probably don't want to go to a bridal show and talk about flowers and gowns and all the other stuff. And so playing the reluctant boyfriend was pretty easy. I just kind of said, I really don't want to go. I'm going because I have to, trying to play it down a little bit more. So just kind of adding the surprise. And I told her that, tried to play it off as maybe a late Christmas present. She can go and meet Randy and I'll just tag along. So I tried to play it down a little bit. It was hard, though. I had the ring there. I was knowing what's going to happen, so it was exciting, but it was definitely very suspenseful.
Yeah. Well, how did he ask you to come on stage? How did that actually take place?
So during his talk, during the whole bridal show, there was the bridal gown, the fashion show, and then Randy came on stage for a 45-minute hour segment just to talk weddings, talk about all the stuff that, goes on behind the scenes in his shows and all the stuff that brides would like to know. And he said, one of the most crucial parts, one of the most fun parts about a wedding is the couple's story. So then he said, let's get a couple on stage to hear their story, and called us up. Here's Will and Caitlin. I met them backstage earlier. they have a cool story. Let's hear it. And then he gave the mic to Caitlin, and Caitlin told him the story that she just told you. And Randy, was very surprised. He said, "What, you guys aren't engaged yet?" And Caitlin said, "No. We had some setbacks in 2012. We would have liked to have been by now." And that's when I took the mic and said, all the stuff I said, and did the proposal.
So, what date have you guys set?
We are going to get married July 5th, 2014. We're doing the ceremony at the church that we've attended together for the last 5 years, and our reception will be at the steakhouse.
Oh. So, as you know, with wedding planning, it can take a lot of time. What are you doing as far as your wedding planning, things that you're doing to help yourself, to prepare for 2014?
I've been researching everything on the computer. The knot.com I think has been absolutely fabulous, just looking at different vendors and stuff that are around the Columbus area. And then we actually just hired a wedding planner as well, because there was no way I could do this all on my own. So
yeah,
thankfully she's going to be a big help through all the planning process.
Yeah, wedding planners can be a great help in planning your day,
yes,
and cut back the amount of time that you have to do, because it does take a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you envision your day looking like?
I honestly don't know. We've picked out a color scheme, but as far as envisioning that, I guess I haven't really thought too far into it. What do you think?
I think for the girls, if anything, because one of our friends who are a couple just got married last summer. We have another couple of friends who are getting married this summer. So kind of seeing what they did during their day and kind of making notes of all the stuff that worked and not. I think as far as the girls, I think it's a lot of pampering and beautification, and the guys played golf and seemed to enjoy that. So I think my day might be a little bit more laid back going into it. Definitely still stressful, but maybe more fun.
Yeah, because since you have a wedding planner, it'll provide you less stress.
Yes.
And then they can also guide you through the process of what type of wedding you really want. Mm-hmm. And are you using Pinterest at all?
Or? Oh, yes. I'm an avid Pinterest user, so definitely getting a lot of different ideas from that. Mm-hmm.
Now, are you using a lot of your friends even, talk to them and get suggestions from them?
Yes, somewhat. My maid of honor actually is all over her maid of honor duties and researching all this different stuff she can do for me and help me out with. But we really only have, right now, the one friend couple that has been married, and then our one friends that are getting married this June. They've been a great resource, but we're at an age where we just don't have a ton of friends that have been married. There's a lot that are engaged, so we're kind of embarking on that journey together.
Wow. Now, do you have a lot of friends across the country, or most of them local?
Most of my friends, and I believe yours too, are more in the Columbus area or Ohio in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, that will make it nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I hope that I would hope we can follow your story as you go through the planning process and as you have your wedding in 2014, and then maybe we can catch back up with you later on.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now we're going to see the actual proposal and Randy Fenoli.
But talking about your story, I'm going to grab a couple. Let me see if I can find a couple over here that, you two. Okay, come up here. I want to ask you about your story. Come on up. You don't mind, do you? Yeah, right up here. Oh, look. Guys, give a big round of applause. This is Will and Caitlin. And I'm going to show you how we start with a story, because at a wedding, every little thing talks about, the food that you serve. It talks about the flowers that you do. So come on up, beautiful. Hi. You're Caitlin, right? Nice to meet you. We met earlier. And this is Will. So come on up to the front, and I want to know, come on up here. So first of all, I want to know a little about your story, and I want to know, tell us about your wedding and what you're thinking.
I do, okay. A little bit about our story. We met when we were 4. We went to preschool together down in Circleville. Then we reconnected our senior year of high school and went to different colleges for 1 semester, and then I said I'm done with that, so I transferred to Miami to go to school with him. We had wanted to be engaged by graduation this past spring, and just with various setbacks have not been able to yet. We're not engaged. We want?
We're not engaged?
Hey, you're my best friend, and I have to apologize. Just the second year in a row you've come to this, and all these other beautiful brides and brides-to-be get to walk around with a ring. So.
You had no idea, did you? Okay, well, anyway, this I've signed. I did know. And this is your engagement gift. And I hope it helps you throughout your journey of life together. So congratulations. And may your story continue for many, many years. And I'm so proud of you, Will. He was, by the way, they came here last year to the bridal show, right? How many times have you come to this bridal show? Second year in a row? Yeah, and you keep dragging it here, trying to give him the hint. Right? And he finally got it. And Will, you did a good job. Thank you. Come here, beautiful. Let's give it up for Will and Caitlin! I'm gonna cry.
Entertainment Unlimited Events, the leader in event decor. So much to do. Planning your wedding can be overwhelming. This is your day, and we are ready to assist you in any and every way we can to make this a day to remember. We customize our decor to fit your style and vision, be it traditional elegance or the latest trend. Entertainment Unlimited Events is the leader in wedding decor and event planning. Weddings in the Hocking Hills, where dazzling beauty marries extraordinary locations. Ohio's Hocking Hills offers rehearsal dinner, wedding, and reception sites wrapped in breathtaking natural splendor. There are sparkling waterfalls as gorgeous as a bridal veil. Your free Hocking Hills wedding planning kit is waiting for you. Visit www.1800hocking.com/weddings or call 1-800-HOCKING.
Welcome back to Ohio Weddings. Valentine's Day is the biggest day for wedding proposals, and we want your wedding proposals. Upload to YouTube and then share on the Ohio Weddings Facebook page. Now see a wedding proposal submitted by Tiffany and Brian.
Okay.
How come you don't have any sunglasses?
You ready?
Gotta open up your jacket, Logan.
Logan.
Oh my. Will you marry me? 6 years. It's been a great 6 years. I'll be with you some more. You promise?
Welcome back to Ohio Weddings. Today I'm joined by Mary and Terry Atkins from Willow Wind Carriage Service. Now, tell me, how did you get involved with horses and weddings? How did that all come about?
I wanted horses from the time I was old enough to know what a horse was. So when I became an adult, had my job as a nurse, bought my first horse. Within a couple of years, I had a boarding, breeding, training stable. When Terry and I met and got involved, my sister decided she didn't want to be involved in the business any longer, so we took over the business. And a few years into that, he knew I wanted a carriage. I kept getting phone calls. Do you have a carriage that I could rent for my wedding? So we bought our first carriage. Wasn't very long after that, we ended up with 3 carriages, and now we're up to 9 carriages.
Wow, 9 carriages.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't you also have limos and other
Yes.
types of transportation?
Yes, we have 3 limousines, a van, a sedan, and 5 buses. So we can do hotel transportation, airport shuttles, the bride and groom, the whole wedding party, whatever the bride needs, we can take care of the transportation.
Now, as far as what areas of Ohio do you cover?
Generally, we cover an area about a 100-mile radius of Springfield. We also have a horse-drawn hearse. We do funerals with that, and so we'll go a little farther with that. Some of the specialty weddings, like the Indian weddings that we do, will go a little farther than the 100 miles, but try to stay within that 100-mile radius.
Well, you just go everywhere. So, I mean, you probably do Dayton, Columbus. What are
Northern
some of the other
Cincinnati.
cities that you think you cover?
Do Westchester, do some of the areas of Cincinnati. Actually had a phone call yesterday about a wedding in Covington, Kentucky that we're discussing. So,
So you go just about anywhere. Now, as far as there's a term, I guess, vis-a-vis.
Vis-a-vis, that's
Okay.
the type of carriage. It actually describes the style of carriage. Vis-a-vis means face-to-face. So the 2 seats in the back that the passengers sit in actually face each other that way. And then the driver's seat is a 3rd seat that's up higher. And that's a general traditional style for weddings in the area. We actually have 3 of those type of carriages, so we have different color schemes with them. So the bride can choose which one she wants for her wedding.
Now, I think with a previous conversation that we had, you're getting a new Cinderella carriage.
Yes, we are. It's a wrought iron pumpkin globe type carriage. And we should have that in about 3 weeks. So we'll get it ready to go and have it available for weddings and, of course, the princess parties and birthday parties for the young ladies and whatever anyone wants to use it for.
Yeah, well, they can be Cinderella for the day.
Absolutely.
Now, what is a barat? Can you tell me what that is?
Sure. The barat is the traditional ceremony that begins the Indian wedding ceremony, and it's actually supposed to signify the groom leaving his home and going to the bride's home. In India, they still do that. The groom will take his whole family and his friends and go to the bride's house because that's traditionally where they have the wedding. So the barat is reenacting that whole ceremony and that whole procession. So we start at one end of either the parking lot or on the street and bring them to the door. And they sing and dance, and the groom rides a very decorated horse. And that's why they consider him the king for the day. So that's bringing him on the horse with all the decorations and the festivities that go with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you do a lot of Asian weddings. Can you kind of tell us, that the people that don't understand maybe the Asian weddings, what a typical event is like?
Sure. Actually, it's usually a 3-day event. They'll have a party the night before for the bride's side of the family, the more intimate family. And then the day of the actual wedding, they have the barat in the morning. Usually they'll have a breakfast before that. Then they have food with the whole ceremony. It may take 2 to 3 hours for them to complete the actual Hindu ceremony. And then they have a big reception in the evening. And it's not uncommon for them to have 300 to 600 guests at their wedding. it's a huge, huge party. You know, it's a real celebration of them coming together. And typically they have what they call the mandap, which is the altar where they have their ceremony. And it's got 6 pillars of some sort, either round or square, or they'll have 6 drapes of fabric. And that's to signify the bride and groom, the groom's mother and father, and the bride's mother and father all coming together. And it's always connected somehow at the top. And it sort of brings the two families together, not just the bride and groom.
Yeah, the weddings tend to be really elaborate.
Very much so. Yes, it's like I said, it's an all-day event on the day of the wedding, and then usually there's a celebration on the day after as well for the groom's side of the family.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you tell us a little bit as far as the types of packages that you offer for transportation?
We customize everything that we do. We don't have anything, as we tell people, we don't have any cookie cutter packages. It's whatever you want. So we can combine a carriage with a limo or a bus or whatever you need for your transportation. But when we do the carriages, we always include custom decorations on the carriages in the bride's wedding colors. And she gets to choose whether she would like a gray horse or a black horse. And everyone says, I want a white horse. Well, the only true white horse is an albino. So they are gray, but they look white. And so she has her choice of which carriage or horse she'd like with the carriage. And we always put the Just Married sign on the back as well.
Well, with any color scheme, then you could coordinate carriages with just about any color.
Absolutely. And, you know, the colors that we have in the carriages, the upholstery sort of blends with anything. So I put custom decorations on the outsides of the carriage with flowers and tulle, and it just pulls the whole wedding theme together for them.
Mm-hmm. Now, for a bride, you know, looking to hire a transportation services, sure, what types of questions should she be asking?
I'll let Terry handle that one.
Okay, Terry.
Well, first of all, you need to know what area you're going to be working, how many passengers that you're going to need to be moving, and some of the things depending on the size of the vehicles. There are different restrictions as far as commercial driver's license, insurance. It's a real big question. We're currently in the state of Ohio, any limousine that carries 9 or that is built to carry 9 passengers or less requires a livery license plate on the vehicle. Anything over 9 passengers requires a bus license plate. They're more expensive, and anything over 16 requires additional insurance, from a $1.5 million for the liability for the smaller vehicles to a $5 million. So there's a lot of people out there that aren't meeting the requirements, trying to skirt under. So you have to be very careful, because the last thing you want is to be on your wedding day and have something happen and no insurance.
So try to ask them if they're certified,
exactly,
ask the proper questions.
And they can provide, we do a lot of work for cities and villages, and they always make us, produce the documents of insurance. So, and anyone can do that, and there shouldn't be any question, just immediately be able to produce that for them.
So where can we find more information about your company?
We have a website. It's www.willowwindcarriagelimo.com. We have pictures of all of our vehicles and descriptions of what we offer and how we offer the service. None of our pricing is on the website, simply because we have so many variables with the cities we cover and packages. But all you have to do is fill out an email request from the website, and we'll be glad to send a quote back or give you a call and talk to you about customizing your package for you.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show today.
It was our pleasure.
Yep.
Thank you.
And that's the end of our show. Now see our real wedding.
I take you, Erica,
to be my wife.
To be my wife.
And I promise before God.
And I promise before God.
To be your loving and faithful husband.
To be your loving and faithful husband.
And in all our life together.
And in all of our life together.
Be loyal to you with my whole being.
Be loyal to you with my whole being.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Ben is a man of faith. In addition, he is a gentle, gracious, just really stable lover of people. in life. He is my younger brother, but I can say that I look up to him in more ways than just altitude. So he's an awesome guy. So as for Erica, it's been a pleasure getting to know you the last couple of years. It's been a lot of fun. You and Ben are a great fit together. You are driven, you're a go-getter, you have a lot of energy, which is awesome. You're a woman of faith as well, which is really exciting to see your faith in Christ. And, oh yeah, Ben doesn't seem to mind your great looks. So.
When we were running 3 years ago, this is when I start remembering Erica gushing about this guy from her breakfast table. And how he's so cute and he's so tall. And so the gushing led to Facebook creeping. Facebook creeping was probably accompanied by many other things, but one of them I do know was Erica ditched her sweats for cute outfits in the morning, trying to gain his attention, which I think she was successful about because he did end up asking her out on it. May you two have a long, loving marriage full of many, many laughs. But did you see me, or did you wait out again for another chance? Wait out again for another chance. Wait out again.
I take you, Ben,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
and I promise before God
and I promise before God
to be your loving and faithful wife,
to be your loving and faithful wife,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.